Hey guys, recording for Team Slap Phase. We're trying to get some more content out there, so we're going to be doing a deck profile today on a deck that many people say is dead, but one that I refuse to let die. Tenpai. So to get us started, we're going to start with the titular monsters. 3-gun Roku now. Most builds usually only played 1 to 2. Because Chandra's at 1, you basically need to play as many ways to get to him as possible, and we have different ways to get him to hand more than just Sangan Kaiman. 3 Hydra, again with Sangan Kaiman going to 1, we kind of need a little bit of backup. So you got to run 3 Hydra to be able to get your game plan off. Or if you're going to take a setup turn when you go first to get your Sangan summoning and protect your dragons, it's also very key. 2 Fadra. I might go up to 3 on this card just because it's very useful, especially if you draw it late game. But if you're going to kill your opponent very quickly, you really only need 1. But I would run 2 just because of you only get 1. Chandra.
Best card in the deck.
Yep, the man, the myth, the legend himself. 1 card OTK. This card, you're only allowed to have 1 of it no matter where you are in the world now. And that's because it's a level 4 Dragon Tuner that summons another dragon that summons another dragon. Need I say any more? And then for something a little bit spicy with this list, I am running 2 Blaster. There's another card coming up that synergizes with this, as well as another half of the deck that we will get to. Basically, there's going to be a way to make this card into a +2 that will hopefully win you the game when it resolves. And if not, it's Blaster. You can summon him, you can blow up cards. He does a lot of things for the deck. 1 of Magnamut. We're not really trying to run main deck Bestial package just because there's not a whole lot of room, and then the deck itself is not light or dark, so it doesn't have too much synergy with the deck. But you want this to be able to get off of spheres if you're made to go first, or sometimes that 1 in a million where it just starts in your hand and it goes off. Onto the secondary engine, we run 3 Fenrir. This deck runs 3 because this card is a 1-card setup for full combo if it goes uninterrupted. With that, we also play 1 Unicorn and 1 Rise Heart. So the main play that you can do with this is you special summon Fenrir to search Wild Rise Heart, normal summon the Rise Heart, make it level 7, go into Draco Sack, use the tokens to go into Cherubini to send Chandra. Or Hydra. Can't send Chandra. Any of the level 3s can be sent though. And then with that, and of course, the 1 Birth. So you can have late game potential. And then the card that brings those 2 engines together. Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars. This says banish 1 Blaster, draw 2, add Chandra. Or it says summon Fenrir, search anybody, banish, draw 2, continue to play the game. Very good card. On to the spells and traps. This is more of a board breaker strategy. So I'm playing 3 Forbidden Droplet and 3 Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse is really strong, especially going into a Ryziel board because it makes them sit down and not able to use their materials. And then Droplet is also good into them because you can negate their detonator, especially if you send a monster they can't respond to it. I have a feeling you're going to be seeing a lot of spell-based board breakers in decks going forward. Then we have the best Rhoda ever made. 3 Triple Tactics Thrust. Basically, this deck is a Thrust package with dragons in it, not a dragon deck with Thrust package in it, because this card searches for any part of your deck that you may need at any part of the game. And it punishes your opponent for trying to punish you. On to the 1-ofs. These are going to be the 1-ofs that are only 1-ofs because the game says I have to. 1 Set Rotation, 1 Terraforming, 1 Gold Sark, 1 Sangan Summoning, 1 Sangan Kaiman. So these all help you do your Tenpai stuff. This specifically is to banish Blaster to add a dragon. and this card wins the game, which is why it's at 1. Then the 1-0s by choice. 1 Talent, 1 Rate Soth, 1 Lightning Storm, 1 Ultimate Slayer, 1 Raigeki, and the entire trap lineup, 1 D-Barrier. These are more or less to be tutored off of talents for whatever situation that they may call for. This is indirectly able to be got because you get Terraforming, then you get this. And then this is for when they do something and skip your turn, you get to skip them back, hopefully. Now I'm going to go on to the side deck and then the extra deck. So for the side, there are some choices that I would make differently, but just because of what cards I have available to me, it's a little different. 2 Quackimiru Drago, which would ideally be 3 if I owned a third one. This card is good into both Malice, Ryziel, and other lighter dark-based strategies like Branded or Centurion, just because he's a big stick and the maintenance cost is basically free because all your monsters are dragons. And if you're going first, you can go into this off of spheres and make your opponent cry. 2 Bestials. Ideally, this would be my third Drago and possibly something else, but for now, running the 2 Bestials in addition with the main deck Magnamut pretty much gets the job done whenever it needs to. 3 Artifact Lancia and 1 Artifact Sanctum to go into against Malice, Ritual Beasts, other decks like that pop up and they need to banish to win the game. This basically just tells them no, and with Malice's prevalence, it's worth dedicating 4 slots in the side deck too. 1 Macrocosmos for 1 turn. Macrocosmos for 1 turn. 3 Dominus Impulse. Honestly, this card is good enough to main deck, and I might even toy around and see if there is a way that I can incorporate it into the main. But as for now, it's good enough in the sideboard to be sided in against pretty much anything. More or less, you take your dead cards out and you put Impulse in. Then for going first, play 3 Heatwave. If I'm not playing the game, neither are you. Simple as that. To the extra deck. We've got 2 cards that only serve as Ultimate Slayer targets. Garura, an Aggregator. Ideally, I would have a Synchro here as well. That's there just to be sent. Probably Cypheranium Omega or Packbit. But these get the job done more or less. Like dumping Aggregator against a Ryziel board is incredibly helpful. Garura may not even really be the best choice. I don't think Fusion's that relevant at this point since you can't target Desiree 90% of the time. And it's more or less just in there because I was throwing this deck together. Draco Sack and Cherubini. This is your 1-2 combo if you open Kashtira and need to bridge into the TENPAI half of your deck. You pretty much wouldn't go into Draco Sack if you weren't going into Cherubini immediately, but it could come up at some point. It hasn't come up for me. The 3 Musketeers. Set up OTK lines whenever they barrier you. Or more or less just have a plan B to go into in case something gets messed up. Like, who knows, Karma Cut. I've seen it. It can happen to you. Spheres, our holy Lord and Savior for going first.
We balls.
We ball. Onto the more traditional part of the extra deck. For the level 10s, I play, of course, Transcendent, Trident, and Ruddy Rose. More often than not, Ruddy Rose has come up just because it has 3,200 attack. And like if you're not able to go for OTK for any reason, sticking a Ruddy Rose can often disrupt the game enough that it coming down is basically its own death sentence. And then for the level 7s, Black Rose, Kui Belt, and 2 copies of Joe Biden. Pretty much your bread and butter. Blow up the board, blow up exactly one part of the board, swing for game. Hopefully, if you've never seen a TENPAI deck before, that was a little bit helpful for you. We plan on making more content, so please like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.